Hi, and welcome to the chapter Why Data is the New Oil and What Most Businesses Are Doing Wrong. So, now, has this ever happened to you? You're thinking about a product, or you're thinking about starting a course, or you're just mentioning something, a place you want to visit to a friend, and then suddenly you're on your mobile phone and you're getting ads for that exact thing that crossed your mind. Now, that's spooky. You're probably wondering what sort of black magic or mind reading device does Facebook or Google have? When the truth is, it's not magic, it's our data they're using. And they're using this data for many reasons, but the most important thing they're doing with our data is basically they're trying to sell us more appropriate ads. And why is this important? So just think about the business model of Facebook, for instance. Facebook is becoming a marketing advertising forum or medium, and they want to get basically compete with billboards, radio, TV. So they have to figure out a way to make their ads the best value for money for people seeking to buy ads. So let's assume you're a developer for a game company, okay? And you have a new game that you want to market. And basically you're thinking about billboards and all these different things. Now billboards can reach a wide audience. However, that's going to make it more expensive. Whereas if you can get exactly targeted niche ads on Facebook or on Google, suppose it's a very odd niche strategy World War II game that isn't even going to appeal to the wide cross section of gamers. You're going to want to know which gamers like these types of difficult niche games and target them with ads. And that's the value Facebook or Google seeks to give advertisers. The ability to do very, very targeted ads at a very cost-effective rate is brilliant, and it is paying off for them in the billions right now. And it's not just Facebook or Google who are taking big advantage of data. Think of a company like Uber. Now, I once had a friend who told me he doesn't see Uber as a data science or machine learning company. He thought they're basically just a service company to find taxis, and that's all they do. And I basically had to argue him down, telling him that there are tons of data science and machine learning stuff going on at Uber. And I had to explain to him it was things like estimating driver arrival times, or estimating fares, or optimizing surge prices when demand was high, or optimizing driver positions by creating heat maps so drivers know where to position themselves in the city. These are just some simple examples how Uber can be using data science internally. However, I'm sure there are tons more that we can't even think of right now. And companies like Netflix. Now, I mentioned recommendation systems earlier on in the previous chapter. However, Netflix has solved such a big problem here with recommendation systems. They have a library of probably like hundreds of thousands of movies and TV shows on Netflix. How do they know what to recommend to you? They have a very complicated system that's based on genres of shows, similar shows you've watched, how similar your watching habits are to someone. So all of this goes into their algorithms to predict things that you would like. So it helps your selection process. So it optimizes your selection process significantly. And what about traditional businesses? Think of banks. Banks are now harnessing their data to determine things like whether to give customers loans or who can qualify for more credit, or even simple things like predicting cash flow or optimizing interest rates or who might file for bankruptcy. These are things that our banks are now beginning to do and catching up into the data stream right now. So right now, we're calling this era the ubiquity of data opportunities, because this means there are just so many applications for data science right now. Things like automated recruitment of employees, predicting cryptocurrency prices, forex or stock prices. There are just tons and tons of things in health alone. Things like disease prediction, finding cures, predicting whether these types of accidents or diseases are going to happen more or another, so we can stockpile different medications. Things like computer vision, which have been enhanced greatly by deep learning, is enabling things like self-driving cars, facial recognition, stores with no employees like the Amazon store in Seattle. These are things that are just right now coming on stream right now. In the agricultural and farming divisions, there's just so much data to collect, so you can optimize, produce, optimize different processes. Same goes for the manufacturing sector. Even things like creating art and music, self-driving cars and robotics, chatbots through NLP. There are just so many applications of data science right now and deep learning. So there's no shortage right now of what we can do with it. It's basically coming down to your imagination. Finding a problem Do we have data to support this or learn from it? And building a solution using AI that can solve it. So what exactly are most businesses doing wrong right now? Well, believe it or not, there are businesses that actually aren't even recording their data. They have no proper logs. These things are just being dumped in different temporary folders. There's no backups going on, so it's just a mess. And it's because they don't see the value in this data. So, and then there are companies that are recording their data, but they aren't doing anything substantial with it. They're just discarding it because basically storage costs are just going up and up. And also a lot of companies think they're doing data science. However, they're mistaken things like simple business analytic reports as a substitute for data science, which it's not. It's a good start. However, it's not nearly as powerful as what you can do with deeper data science techniques. And there's a problem here where a lot of people don't trust the data and they rely on their intuition instead, saying things like, I don't trust that machine, or I don't trust any AI to make my life easier. That's sort of a backward point of view. However, it's not always bad, because sometimes relying on data can basically make you biased or statistically flawed. You have to understand the weaknesses in your data to actually use it effectively. So basically, this is why data is the new oil. Data provides so much value and so much power to businesses, leading to better decisions and more profits, which is the key bottom line that shareholders want to achieve. So thank you, and let's move on to the next lesson.